Making a sad video today because I have been bullied. I go into chat room, I say love and peace for all living beings, and apparently it stirs up so much hatred that it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. People get so freaking mad at someone saying love and peace for all living beings. One time I had that printed on a t-shirt. I was going shopping a couple of years ago, and I saw the manager of one of the Safeway stores. The manager, he really wanted to beat the fuck out of me. He wanted to beat me up with glass bottles. I could feel it. Boy, the way he looked at me when he saw that on my t-shirt. That facial expression. And it's that same energy that I feel in any live tweet, in any chat room. I feel that same energy. Is it's an energy of like people were like almost like as if someone poured garlic onto their wounds. Like they're suddenly jolted up from a trance. What? What? What did she say? It is so outer worldly. Love and peace for all living beings equally much. It's like this is so unheard of. It's so, how can someone dare to say something like this, right? That is so dorky. It's so awkward to say something like this, right? That's their reaction. Their reaction is like someone said much worse things than any KKK member said, or much worse than saying I love Adolf Hitler, or worse than anything. Yeah, that's for them. For them, that's acid. You know, that's like it's an acid trip to say love and peace for all living beings equally much. You Satan, they come after me. You Satan, you are mean, some people say. Mean. I said love and peace for all living beings equally much. You are mean. That is so mean to say that. Wow. Underneath the anger is a river of tears, and I am gradually letting it roll up. Okay, we have to breathe through the abdomen. We can talk about it, and I'm getting very angry, kind of like Alex Jones a little bit, almost. You know, I feel Alex Jones, I feel him, but you know, I don't want to take it any further. I'm not going to do, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, I took it to the farthest level. I don't want to, I don't want to act it out anymore. I don't want to throw a cup anymore. I used to do this in the past. I have a monster Medusa inside of me, trust me. I wouldn't even be alive if I didn't have that Medusa inside of me. Man, can you imagine if I had just taken shit from other people my whole life and hold the other cheek? I wouldn't be here anymore. It's a guarantee. The immune system cannot cope with that. That's a fact. But, anger can be a lifesaver, but don't act it out on anyone. That's okay to act it out in the video and say all kinds of things and F words and whatever. That's okay. Yeah. What I'm against is violence. I'm against shaming. I'm against bullying. I'm against deliberately hurting someone. To speak out, to express yourself, how you feel, that's okay. Underneath is a river of tears, infinite sadness. I'm not a God that stands above everything and it can look down and say, yeah, I see where everything is coming from. Intellectually, I can do this, but that's as far as I can take it. I can occasionally see this intellectually, not all the time, because my feelings take over my brain and do a short circuit between the amygdala and the hippocampus. But I'm not going to act it out. I'm not going to physically act it out. I'm not going to throw a cup anymore. I'm not going to go after anyone. I'm not going to hit anyone. I wouldn't even go to an anger workshop and throw things there. When I was little, my therapist Annalise, she took me into her clay throwing room. She had a clay throwing room in the cellar, and we went into that room, and there was a whole lot of what looked like sodium bentonite clay. And she said, you can take a clump of clay like this, and then you can throw it as hard as you can against the wall. And I did that. We did this together, and it felt good. But that too, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, and it's very true what he said, that too can lead to anger being trained into more anger. So it can funnel up more anger. So what it does is it creates a neuronal connection, actually a dopamine reward connection. And then anger will come up again, and people will seek anger. And I see this also in chat rooms. People are seeking confrontations. They seek angry confrontations. They don't want love and peace, because love and peace will bring up the pain from the past. They don't want that. They don't want to see that. They like the confrontations. They like to hurt people because they love people's hurtful reactions. And people are becoming better and better at detecting the actual anger that is underneath their reactions. However, pretenseful their reactions are, pretending to grace when they actually hurt. When they say laughing my ass off, but they're boiling with anger. So pretending to be all leisurely somewhere with a glass of champagne or something, but that's not the case. They're not sitting on the poolside somewhere in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. No, they're sitting in their mother's basement in a dark, abandoned dungeon with in a small room with their computer because they are full of pain. They're in so much pain they can't even work, can't even get a job. I'm not making fun of this. I know what that's like. Not making fun of it. But it's those people that will deliberately go out there and hurt someone's feelings. And you really do know that this is not okay, right? You know that the other person has feelings, right? Is a living being like you, suffers too, like you. You know that we women have feelings too, just like you do. We're made out of the same materials, just slightly different, yeah, in physicality and brain anatomy, slightly different. We do have arms, we have legs, and we have a brain that works. And we are also intellectual and intelligent equally much to men. Yeah. The sexism makes me so mad. It's so awful. It's just, I have to just let it be. Yeah, just sit with it. Yeah. Whatever anger comes up, sit with it. Don't run away from it. Breathe. Let it be. Don't escape from it. This is happening. I'm angry. Yeah. Okay, it's happening. Let it be. And also, if I looked from above at the big picture, which I occasionally do, then yes, then I see how everything ties in. I see that these people are having pain, but right now I'm feeling the anger, and I'm not gonna intellectualize it out, because then I can use that as an escape from actually feeling this anger. Because if we escape from our anger in whatever ways, even if it's in a form of intellectualizing or understanding, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm still hurting like hell. And you still hurt my feelings. And you wanted to hurt my feelings, I'm talking to the hater. You wanted to hurt my feelings. You wanted to send me to the suicide ward. You really did, didn't you? So, and whatever your reason is, I'm not going to get into this, maybe later. But right now, I'm feeling this pain, okay? I'm feeling this tremendous hurt. I feel shocked. I feel sad about people being so violent in the world and wanting to hurt others. I see it not just with myself, I see other very kind people being hurt with such violence. And it's usually the kind people that get hurt. What's all this about? What is that hate against kindness? Where does that come from? Is it because the kindness is like the kindness chases away the repetition of the past, and then you suddenly see the past? Is that what it is? Does it chase away the homeostasis? I think that's what it is. But that's, again, analyzing. Right now I'm feeling hurt. Whatever your problem is, you hurt me. I'm a living being too. We women are living beings too, just like you. We have feelings just like you. There's also a message to that Jeffy. We women have feelings too, I kind of get the impression with some of the titles that he uses for his videos. How to train your girlfriend to have a threesome? I'm sorry, you know, that title pushes it a little over the edge now for me. And that title gives away that you do not understand women at all. The title gives it away that, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't, and there are probably women who would really like to do this and who are into it and all of this. But from how what I understand is you and Owen, you're teaching men to get a real partnership with a woman, like a real, also like a real intimate, close relationship, right? Also, not just physically, but mentally too. You know, he talks about the ultimate goal being going to the altar. That's total bullshit in itself. But you know, which means marriage, which means to me marriage is just something on paper, but which means a real relationship, a real, you know, a real monogamous relationship. Isn't that your goal? Or isn't this closeness, or do you want the cake and eat it too? I'm a little bit confused now. But what this title is telling me is really that you see women like this here. They are material for you. You know, they are moldable, mendable, nettable, and doable, and consumable. They are meat for you, you know. Let's really call the kid by the name, you know. It is, after all, the two cool, understanding guys, you know. It's, after all, meat. I don't know how Owen thinks about this, but from that title from Jeffy, I think I get it. The meat idea is still behind it. Woman as meat is still there. It's still there. How about we have a threesome? You, Owen, and myself. That would be something, wouldn't it? It would be it would be very exciting. How would you feel? How, you know, I mean, I know you probably don't find me attractive, but how would you feel if you find a woman attractive? Like, it's, let's say Kim Kardashian or Amber Rose fell in love with you, Jeffy, and or Beyonce. Let's say she fell in love with you, and you would be all excited, and then she would say, Jeffy, I gotta come out to the open with you with this. I really do want a threesome with you and Owen. How would you feel if she said that? How would you feel like if, you know, you thought this was now the woman for life, you know, and then she said that? How would you feel? Wouldn't you also feel like, oh, after all, she's only seen me as like a doable piece of dough? Live flesh, you know, for sensual gratification. How would you feel about this? And now put yourself into the shoes of women. How do they feel about this? Can you just picture? And we have been through hundreds of years of such sexism. So maybe you can picture this, how that must feel. You want the cake and eat it too? Yes, I know. You don't want to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And I also get a little bit, although I really love many of those videos, particularly those of Owen Cook, and I like many of Jeffy's. But overall, it still has the taste of men not knowing what woman really is. It still has that aftertaste, some kind of really sour, bitter aftertaste after watching those videos. They really don't do. The woman, yeah, the mysterious thing. No, the woman is just like you, same mammal. We don't have that much of a sex drive. We're not that easily triggered into it where we can't even focus anymore on what someone says. But yeah, and I'm not shaming or blaming. That's the anatomy. Yeah. But yeah, we do have urges too. I have a sex drive. I have needs. I have the need to cuddle. I have the need to be wanted and liked. And when we haven't been loved by our mothers, it will show up later on. It will show up with wanting a man, and will show up with wanting attention, and will show up with wanting to be wanted, in a rather neurotic way. Because if we haven't been loved, then later on that shows up that way. Women are insecure too, they're not this hard to get diva or something. Some women may play that part, but that's the deer grazing when the body is actually injured. That's the same as the troll saying, laughing my ass off, but hurting and boiling on the inside. We are also full of feelings and hurt and mental illness and trauma from the past, just like you are, just like you are. We are not mysterious. Haters, they know our vulnerabilities. That's why they know very well. They see this. They see women going under the knife to look like Kim Kardashian. They see this desperate need for attention and love, or what they think is love. And they exploit that in their hate comments to people. They fully exploit that. Someone says, I like Hillary Clinton. Oh boy, you better be prepared to be called queer or tranny. It wouldn't matter how often I get insulted by people. I will still stand up for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and the people who really are amazing, like Al Gore and Bill Clinton. These 4 people are amazing people, okay? And it wouldn't matter how you come after me with your hate and verbal abuse. It wouldn't matter. the truth still stands. Love is much bigger than that. And yes, I'm hurting, and yes, I'm hurting. Why should I lie about it? It's hurting. It hurts and it's raw. And I'm not gonna run away from it. Like most people, they go under the knife, I was called queer, I better go under the knife and make myself look more feminine. Make myself look like Barbie doll. Literally, that's happening. No, I'm not going to. I stand for my face, for my politically incorrect face. I stand for it. I love my face the way it is. Okay? Yes, it's not the prettiest. It's not the girliest. Yeah. It's rather harsh. But I have a feminine body, and I'm a real woman, and I've always been a girl. I was born a girl. I'm a real woman. And it hurts. It hurts when people question me like that. Question my existence like that. It hurts. And they know that it hurts us. And that's why they say it. They know it. It makes plastic surgeons a lot of money if they can beautify someone's face so that they will not be mistaken as a queer. I love my body. I really do. I love my skin. I'm infinitely grateful for the body I have. Very feminine. In a jacuzzi, I will never be called queer. But on the internet, I'm not going to show myself, my whole body nude. I'm not going to do it. I mean, that'd be so ridiculous. It would look so desperate. The cleavage photo is already desperate enough. And all comes from emotional pain. All has to do with the mother not giving that unconditional love. When that happens, then I tell you, everything derails in the mental illness direction. Everything gets out of control. The people that we're trying to be loved by, the struggles, none of this would be happening in the first place if we had been loved, really loved by our mothers. We wouldn't be looking for love in the wrong places. We wouldn't even go, Bindi Irvin does not go, I 100%, I guarantee you, she doesn't go into those live tweet chats. She isn't hanging out in there for any amount of time. She isn't struggling with people politically or emotionally. There's no need for it. She doesn't seek that out. Because she doesn't need, there's no need for us. There's no hurt that pushes that. I go into live tweets because I like to talk to people. Sometimes I like to I like compliments. Sometimes I like to meet someone. But all I encounter is these people, these hurt deer that are pretending to graze. Everyone is a hurt deer pretending to graze. Everyone is laughing their asses off, and underneath they are deeply hurt and in need for friendship and closeness, but they push everyone away like this with their hate comments, with their violence, verbal abuse, push everyone away. But they're reaching out like a cat, like this. But you come too close, they'll scratch you. Because they're hurting on the inside, that's why. Someone who's not hurting would never, ever, ever, ever insult me. Never. They would never insult anyone. They would never insult an ugly person. Someone who's not hurting. Someone who has had all of their needs met by the mother. They would never hang out somewhere and bully people and verbally abuse people. They would never do this, never think about it. It would never occur to them. They feel compassion for someone who's mishappen or who is awkward or who is different. Underneath the anger are the tears, and they're coming out now. It hurts to be rejected. And it's very old pain, very old. It's all childhood pain. And almost all of us have been through this. Almost all of us. Most people take drugs to get away from that feeling. Others hate and abuse. And some of them are sadistic. All an escape from that pain. And it's much better for your body and for everyone if you go through this, if you don't run away, if you don't escape, if you don't let it out on someone else. And everything is the people. Everything is seen by most people through distorted glasses. Everything is everything is sexualized. That's why I would never use the word lovemaking, because it's not love, okay? It's not. It's lust, and that's okay. It has its place. It's good. It's all good. Just don't call it love, okay? Don't call it love. If there's love also there, okay, then you are very lucky if there's love there. No, but in most cases there's no love. The nerve of people to call love making. As soon as the girlfriend looks at another man, they come with an axe and chop her into pieces. And they call it love making before that. I just want to put things into perspective. You know what love is? Love is when you go out there into a busy street and you rescue a puppy dog. Puppy dog. A puppy dog ran innocently into a busy street, and you walk by there and you don't continue to walk. You don't turn your back on that innocent being. You go right away. You go into that busy street and you bring that puppy dog. You pick him up. You hold him safely in your arms and you walk back onto the sidewalk with the puppy dog. You bring him home. And if you can't have a dog, you can bring the puppy dog to a shelter somewhere, an animal shelter. Okay, they always take care of the animals, and when they have too many animals, they end up having to euthanize them. But that's a whole lot better than a puppy dog being randomly hit by cars and injured and maybe suffering for 10 days until he dies. You know, that's a huge, humongous difference. Okay. And that's also why I am against breeding of any animal. I don't want any animal to be deliberately bred. Putting more puppies and kittens and human babies into this world so that they can suffer, so they can be hit by a car or worse, or suffer for a prolonged time. You go after a puppy dog into a busy street, you bring him back to safety. You make sure, you look after him, you make sure he's safe. You bring him to the shelter, or you give him to a loving home. Okay? Or you keep the dog and love that dog. Really love that dog. Non-sexually. Okay? Too bad I have to add that to it. That's love. And that's what I mean by Nikki loves dogs. Okay? I do not mean sexually. I mean non-sexually. Everything is sexualized. Every shit in the world is sexualized by haters and by crude assholes. And it is so annoying. It really, really, really is annoying. It's like looking at total ugliness. That's ugly, you know. That's what ugliness really is. Not someone's face. That behavior is ugly. To sexualize everything. To And that also shows what they think of sex themselves. They think sex is shameful. So that's why they sexualize things, because they think that's nice and mean. Everything is sexualized. They even rape turkeys, the crude people. And it's real painful for the turkeys, real horrible. I don't even want to get into this now, with all the other animals. I don't want to get into this now. It's a Holocaust. It's a Holocaust that's happening out there. And I think about this every day, it's really bothering me. When I see the crude people in chat rooms, I see all of this. I see that ugliness right there. It's one big ugly scream. That's what it is. And these people are hurting on the inside. They're hurting real bad. They have been really badly mistreated by their parents, real badly. They have been raped, hit, verbally, physically abused. A sensitive person, if that happens to a sensitive person, they either die from a drug overdose later on or commit suicide. They can't deal with this, or they get sick. They can't deal with that. There's no way. I'm glad I have anger inside of me. That anger saved my life, but I don't know whether that's a good thing. I don't know whether it's a good thing to exist at all. I question that. But now that I exist, I want to make the best out of it. And making the best out of it is certainly not running away from the pain. Although most people don't know they're running away. They're unconscious about this. But I'm telling you, the ego and the escape mechanisms are endless. And they come through the back door and they trick you over and over again. That's why we need to become more aware about our own mechanisms. If people stopped hiding themselves with their emotions from others, we can create a paradise. We can eliminate war. But the corporate agenda, they don't want peace for that. They don't want love. They don't want someone promoting love and veganism and kindness to animals, because then they can't profit from you. They can't exploit you and your divisiveness. They exploit all of that, the corporate agenda. They profit from that massively. But who is the corporate agenda? The corporate agenda, just like the government, it exists and it is put together by constituents, by members. And who are these members? They are humans with pain, with emotional pain, who's never been seen. Never been seen. I guarantee you this. This is a guarantee. Bindi and Robert Irwin would never become corporate executive people. They would never become members of a corporation like ExxonMobil or Monsanto or Bayer. Bayer, I think Bayer bought Monsanto or something. Luckily, Monsanto is in a lot of trouble now. I'm glad. I'm glad this finally comes out to the surface and is being broadcast so that other people can finally see how dangerous Roundup is. You can finally see it. That's why it's been outlawed in Europe for many, many years, because it is extremely dangerous. It's a biohazard. It's a toxic material, not a biohazard, but it is hazardous for your biology, for all life. I'm glad this is coming out to the surface now. It's hard to see injustice happening when you feel like you don't have much leverage, when you feel like